are back with The Pursuit of Happyness. What an interesting movie.
Yeah, no, I really like this film. I'll tell you why once we get into it.
I'm interested when we get to Rowan Reminiscence, whether you're going to be talking about the actual year it was made or the year it was set.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Don't tell us.
Don't tell us. Okay.
Keep the listeners and the viewers in surprise.
In suspense. I think what I did want to talk about, because we touched on vanity in a show last year. Remember that conversation?
Yes.
And you said it was one of my best performances, which was sort of...
Oh, that was for the Banshees of Inisherin.
It was the Banshees of Inisherin. I've got another topic.
That was a good podcast, by the way.
Yeah, no worries. I'm happy to be put. What does I say to her? You don't have to tell me. Oh, I was there.
Excuse me?
Yeah, exactly. I want to talk about belief. Self-belief.
If anyone has self-belief, it's you, my friend.
I've got to, because there's not a lot of substance. No, but I'll tell you why, right? Because, it's not a golf podcast, okay?
Here we go. Settling.
But what you tell yourself when you're doing anything in life translates into the results. I'm certain of it. I'll become, and it's ironic I'm saying I'm certain of it when I'm talking about belief. When you're standing over a putt or you're building something or you're doing something at work, if you tell yourself, I'm not sure, I can't do it, go to public speaking, you're nervous, you'll perform badly. If you tell yourself, I can do this, I'm the best, I can do it, it makes a world of difference. I coach a basketball team, okay? At training, everyone was missing every single shot. I walked around to every player and I said to them, you must tell yourself when you're about to shoot, you're the best player in the room, you'll make this shot, you know what you're doing. I kid you not, all 7 of them made their next shot. What's the word?
Self-belief?
No. 2 seconds later, they missed them all again. But for that 1 minute, every single one of them, it seemed to work. It can't be coincidence. Self-belief, the power of the mind, it's unbelievable what pressure does and how you deal with it. Any comments?
I couldn't agree more. I think from the beginning of time, people have always thought, maybe I'll start that again, not necessarily from the beginning of time. Mantras like believe in yourself, trust in yourself, what people write in the walls, I was actually going to hoping you would bring out lots of different sayings about belief.
Sorry, on that point. So here is, and you can see it here, my school, what do you call it, the photo book when you leave year 12. So this is from 1992, and this is what I wrote. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you'll ever take a prize. For the prize doesn't go to the tallest or the strongest man, but the man who thinks he can. You heard that saying before?
No, I haven't heard that saying.
There's an old photo of me. Look like I'm stoned off my head.
You can hold up to the camera
there you go.
If anyone watches on YouTube.
If everyone watches, but
people, yes.
But you follow what I'm saying here. It's not about who the best is. It's who believes. You must believe.
And that gets you a lot of the way. It doesn't get you the whole way, but it certainly gets you a lot of the way. But there's also the false confidence side of things as well.
There can be self-bravado that is not there, right? That is shallow and can crack in 1 second, or you can have belief in something which can cause injury, right? If you think, I can rock climb and I'm 50 years of age, but I could do it when I was 20, I'll do it now. You can hurt yourself. And then in a normal everyday situation as well, if you've got this belief that you can introduce yourself into a conversation, because I know a bit about that topic in your people.
I think you can introduce it to anything. It could be all equated to fitness. You don't think you can run 5Ks, you get to the 4K mark, you don't think you can do it anymore, but you say something to yourself in your mind and it gets you to that 5K mark. You want to, shovel stones, which is what my son did a few years ago for 7-8 hours, and I was wrecked, and he pushed me, and we just got this whole day's work of just grafting. There's so much that you can do. I mean, these SAS series, these boot camps, they're all designed.
Well, Goggin, all these guys. Goggin says when you think you're done, you've only at 40% of your capacity.
And I 100% believe that.
Well, it's interesting. You spoke last season about, and I think it was for the father. You spoke and you told us that whole story. You went to the doctor, right?
Or the waiting room.
It was more the waiting room was part of the story, not about your illness, but.
My illness, it was a blood pressure check, just for anyone worrying.
Okay, whatever it was. The point being,
it was good.
The doctor I'm glad you were. The doctor, we only worry about the physical. There's not enough exposure to mental health and the power of the mind. It's the most untapped thing in society, in my opinion. There's just not enough work on it in schools. We should have a class. Forget teaching them where Belgium is in geography. Have a class about teaching these kids how to be adults in the world.
I think they do. I think it evolves.
Not the schools that my kids go to.
I think you teach that in different ways. You teach it by
You take practical, not an actual theory in class.
Yeah, correct. Eating healthy, exercise, sleeping.
Do they do that though? Do they have these classes?
No, there's a specific class in eating and so on, but there probably is, home economics type classes where they do teach about that stuff, but that is everywhere. Most people, not most people, but a lot of people, actually, I'm going to take that back again because my sister in London started a charity, and the charity, Jacqueline, and she feeds kids that are underprivileged and their parents don't know enough to give them a nutritious meal to take to school. Sometimes they're given a pot noodle or a bar of chocolate, and that's your lunch. And she volunteers and has people packing lunches for hundreds and hundreds of kids. Bit of fruit, bit of protein.
What's the point?
That I said that everybody would know that eating healthy and sleeping and exercise are the three main things to give you a healthy mind and a healthy body. But not everyone does know that. We're privileged in the fact that
I don't know if it does. I don't do all those things. A lot of people don't do all those things, and maybe I don't have a strong mind. Maybe that's part of the reason I want to have this conversation.
I think you do have a very strong mind. You've got a lot of self-belief, but then you go to water very quickly. Very quickly, you're not good at being challenged. I don't know what that's got to do with mental health. You dwell on things and more than anyone I've ever met. You talk about your anxiety stuff.
Yeah.
Like we could have an argument or a discussion on there. You will not on air really, in a lot of cases, always say what you think because you're worried about what other people will think, or you're going to come across the wrong way. If I say something to you, you'll dwell on it, and you've often called me up like the day later, like in panic mode.
Yeah, I'm an overthinker. I'm certainly an overthinker. But this overthinking, we're probably away from the core topic. I'm happy to discuss it, but it's...
Well, bring us back. Give me some more examples, then something I can get my teeth into.
It's just amazing. It's certainly in corporate life. I mean, if I can... We'll talk about TV for 5 seconds, okay? So I watched a TV show called Super Pumped, which was the story of Uber. Thomas Kalanick. So I watched that during the week. And if anyone remembers what happened with Uber when they first began, they were breaking the taxi laws. They were fighting against local councils and government in San Francisco, and they just were not welcomed. But he had this phenomenal belief that he was going to change the world and the way people were going to be transported around the world. And looking forward 15 years later, Uber is, it's a multi-trillion-dollar company. He's being outed because of some horrible management. So
this is just a guy that believes in himself and built up a good business. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, to stick to your guns and people are telling you it's not right, it won't work. That's just an example.
Bring us back to a relatable topic, something that might have happened, in our...
Well, I can tell you the relatable topic, but people don't want to hear about my individual golf games. But I can tell you play 18 holes of golf. And the other day I played, and my front nine, right, my first 9 holes, I was terrible. And I said to myself, this is going to sound terrible.
This is so boring.
Well, you just asked me to make it relatable.
I mean, in real life worlds where, a car, there's an accident, and the mother manages to lift the cars and remove the
I'm not talking about
power of the mind.
No. I'm not talking about doing superhuman, one-in-a-lifetime things. I'm talking about in everyday life. I stood on the tee on the 10th hole and said to myself, sounds terrible, you're the best golfer in the place, you're the best golfer here. And all of a sudden, I played fantastic as opposed to playing terrible. What you tell yourself, what I'm trying to get to is, what you tell yourself between, you can do all the push-ups in the world, you can eat all your veggies, you can drink your water. But what you tell yourself when you do something, right, exudes out of your system.
I think what you're trying to say is you manifest
what you believe.
Yeah.
Well said. Good word. Manifest it. You need to make it happen. You will it to happen. Your power of the mind is unbelievable.
Positive thinking.
Positive power, positive thinking, We saw a guy on the beaches of Queensland years ago, and he just had believe on his tattoo. My brother-in-law and I we're cheering, because we talk about it all the time, and we'll never forget this.
I think there's a book, The Celestine Prophecy, that I think has something to do with that, the power of the mind and the 8 stages of belief, of self-belief, and where that takes you.
Isn't that what's it called, the placebo effect?
100%. Rocky. What about all these movies, the underdog stories where you believe?
Yeah.
There's hundreds we could reel off, and hopefully, as we actually talk about the Pursuit of Happyness, which
that's why I brought it up today.
Right.
Why did you make that reference? I don't know what that was.
I don't know. Well, let's state the fucking obvious.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, we've had stories before with absolutely no relation to what we're doing, but if you want to move, we should kick into the podcast. Self-belief, no one had more self-belief or determination than this fella. So,
me?
No, Chris Gardner. Okay, you
I
want
believe I can fly.
Yeah, well, it's a bit like that. It is a bit of I believe I can fly.
Touch the sky.
Okay, we're way off. You're enjoying the camera too. Yeah, Robbie's enjoying the camera. All right, am I going to tell you about the Pursuit of Happyness?
Do we get to the end of that? I don't feel very happy with what was contributed to there, because I think there's a lot more to discuss, but I suppose we're not a movie podcast.
It's not a topic that can be ended in a 5 or 10 minute conversation.
People write their mantras on their mirror. I will do well today. I will succeed. I will be calm. I will.
There's lots to say. So
manifest money, finance, and health, and I want someone to feel better, and I want this putt to go in, and I want the basket shot to happen.
I can, I will, and I'll conquer. You heard that one?
No.
You never heard that one?
I don't think it's said that way.
I can, I will, and I'll conquer. Yeah.
Okay, there's got to be laws. Why don't you look up? Or maybe you've already done. I'm sure you've already done.
You can see
all the mantras, all the positive things. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you need to have self-belief in whatever walk of life you've got. And it makes it, I'm not trying to be philosophical with people, right? It makes it so easy once you've agreed on it and believe in it. And I'd say the easiest one is love. Is love. Once you believe, right? Certainly in my life, don't always be an idiot. Don't do that, right? Once you believe, I'm in love with that lady or that girl, that was it for me. You don't look at it like it's just, it's the same thing. It's like a love and believe once, I'm
trying to get my head around that. Once you believe.
You get to a point, you're dating someone like I was dating and you're not sure, and then you get closer and closer. And it's sort of, there's not a moment in time, right? But you morph,
You carry on.
It's a beautiful song, but you're butchering it. And that's what happens. Once you believe, you believe. All right, I'm going back to the film. We're going to stop the camera. All right, this. I won't be ready. Here it is.
Keep going. This is.
No, I'm not going to talk
good stuff. This is gold.
What is Camilla's name? I'm speaking.
Camilla Parker.
I'm speaking.
Tell me more about your wife and when you first met.
Okay.
And with your staying.
We're going to talk the Pursuit of Happyness. The Pursuit of Happyness.
You were opening up for a second.
I'm very. Everyone's sick of talking to me about my wife and my family. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the feedback that's been coming in.
The Pursuit of Happyness is a story about Chris Gardner, who in 1981 was married with a child played by Jaden Smith, his son in real life. Will Smith plays the starring role in this film. I won't give you my opinion in, I'll just give you the facts. He's got no money. He's a salesperson selling a density scanner. He's put his life earnings into it. And his life becomes worse and worse and worse because he has no money, he has nowhere to stay. He becomes homeless. And one day he sees a man in a red Ferrari and he says, "Where'd you make all that money?" He says, "I'm a stockbroker. You need to be good with numbers and good with people." And he ends up doing an induction course that's got no money. And one person is chosen. This is based on a true story of Chris Gardner.
Sorry.
And we're watching how he ends up getting divorced and he ends up having to raise a child whilst trying to make a living, trying to find food, and going through all the challenges of life, whilst you're rolling your eyes. I'll be honest. You look like there was movement. And did he win that nomination for that role? And we'll discuss that here. And that's the film. Yeah.
I think it was an apprenticeship that you got.
the apprenticeship or a traineeship. I think they use the word traineeship in the film. And Chris Gardner, true story, played by the famous Will Smith. Robbie, I assume you've seen it. What did you think of The Pursuit of Happyness?
I've seen it. Look, it's a really great film. It's a really lovely film. It's very well made. It's hard not to enjoy. Unfortunately, it has been tarnished by Will Smith. I couldn't really watch it without just thinking to myself, what a shame, Will. What a shame you're a fucking idiot.
What a shame you're a fucking idiot. How could you go and play roles like this? How could you go play roles like this? These beautiful people. Like, what a story. Someone's found this story of Chris Gardner and taken it to a producer and said, this is a movie, right? This is movie worthy.
Yeah.
And then this goose goes and hits Chris Rock for the world to see, other than Anthony Hopkins, because he would have been asleep.
Is that a reference to the father that we did on
For The Educated, when Anthony Hopkins won it in 2021 Best Actor, he didn't think he was going to win, so he didn't watch Went to Bed, apparently, which I think is a lot of BS. For The Educated. Okay. Tell me what you thought of the film. I've got one issue with the whole film.
I've told you what I thought of the film. I mean, it's obviously it's Americanized for audiences. It's really well made. Will Smith is a fucking great actor.
Yeah, he's great.
He portrays it brilliantly. The fact that he's got his son in it, the connection there, and the chemistry was obvious.
You happy with the casting?
Yes, I was very happy with the casting. It is overall a very well-rounded film. It's got all the elements, and the fact that it's a true story is great. And
well, they say based on. So you said that really well a second ago, because there's probably bits that, you know, that they play up more than others, and you know, but
they've got to make it palatable for
consumable for the viewers.
Did you pick Chris Gardner at the end? Tell me you picked Chris Gardner, the cameo at the end.
No, I didn't.
It couldn't have been more obvious.
Where?
How many times have you seen this film?
Oh, wow.
You've never picked Chris Gardner.
No, tell me.
Right at the end,
when
Will and his son are walking away, and there's one soul guy walk towards them and gives them a nod.
Oh, right.
That's Chris Gardner.
Oh, right. Didn't know that. Okay, because I was listening to the jokes. Knock, knock, who's there? I was listening to the jokes. Oh, I'm going to go back and watch that. Can I give you my opinion on the film?
Please.
Yeah, a beautiful film. I loved it. It's you know, we're going to discuss that in a second. I've got one issue which I'd rather labour on than the good parts in a second. I can't stand the name of the film.
The Pursuit of Happyness.
Yeah, because, and when I watched it, shout out to my friend Joel, he called this out when we watched it 25 odd years ago. You're saying here that you're only happy, right, if you link the story to the name, that if he had money, he was happy. If he didn't have money, he wasn't happy. Now, they made it the worst scenario possible. So certainly money makes your life easier. When you're sleeping, you've got to rush to get to the bed at 5 o'clock for the homeless people. If you didn't make it, you were goners and sleeping in the toilet in the train station. But they wanted you to feel that if he didn't make money, if he wasn't successful, if financially successful, then he wasn't happy. And you could be happy without money. You can be happy without money. Did you have an issue with the name?
No, I didn't really think about that, actually. I didn't even think so much it was all about money. I don't think he was actually driven by money. I think he was just driven
by survival. I mean, it was
survival.
It was a layer below money.
Maybe not even so much success. He's got no idea how much you're going to make as a stockbroker. All he was interested in is having enough money to have a roof over his son's head,
of course,
essentially. And his wife left him, and it's just hard. And he just wanted that. We knew from the start that Chris Gardner is a very, very smart guy, and never had the breaks needed to realise that success until this happened. So I think that's maybe the story more than...
But you know, at the very end of the film, when he runs out and he says, this part of my life is called happiness.
Yes, they've got all the different...
Yeah, they've got the different stages. Right? But what happened? I mean, he's still divorced. You know, I just think it's too narrow-minded to say, well, I've made money, I'm happy. Right? I just think it's not the right line. It's not exact. It's easy for me to say if I've got money or, you know... I tell you what it makes me think of was Castaway.
Okay, yeah.
Because in Castaway, you think you've got a hard life until you've got nothing around you, and then you're sitting there and you go and we're watching this movie, I'm getting into my own home and I'm having a shower, I'm eating something. I wasn't worried about food or roof over my head.
There were a few movies.
He's a phenomenal
the
human being, wasn't he, going?
The one we were talking about is similar movies that we were getting into. I can talk about The Blind Side, Aaron Brockovich. Well, you talk about the power of the mind.
Well, go on, tell me more.
127 Hours.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a good one. I'm going to chop your hand off. The Founder.
Yeah.
Slumdog Millionaire. Rocky. Joy.
Yeah.
Joy we reviewed last year.
Yeah.
Billy Elliot was quite a good one. Life is Beautiful. Lion. Good Will Hunting. A Beautiful Mind.
But what are you saying?
Coach Carter.
What
am I saying? These are all about the pursuit of something.
Okay, the pursuit of something, but they're all not starting at where he's starting from. Rocky's the closest.
Rocky, you're gonna be a contender.
Rocky's the closest. Because this guy had nothing, right? He would work all day. When he says it in the film, it's unbelievable. He goes, I had to, in the test, I had to leave at 4 because I had to pick up Chris and I had to make sure I got to the bed. There you go. We've got cameras everywhere. People are filming us now outside. We'll come back to you later.
When he asked the guy at the start to remove the obscenity and change the Y to an I, and change it to from the Y to the I because happiness doesn't have a Y.
Yeah.
The chance encounter with the guy in the Ferrari reminded me of Wolf of Wall Street. The stupidity of giving it. Oh, this gave me the shits, man.
Which bit?
Oh, his bone density scanner, right?
Yeah.
This fucking bone density scanner.
I did that about 4 times already.
Oh, he hands that to some random person in the street. Just hold this for me for a second. He comes back, and obviously she's run off with it. And in the middle of, was it San Francisco? Is this where it's based? Yeah. They find the bone. They bump into the person who'd stolen it in a city of millions. Like this happened 14 times.
It does say, sorry, just on that. It does say a very funny line, very quick. He says, it means nothing to you. No one would want it. There's no use nicking it. There's no value to anyone. I sell it and I can't give it away. Didn't you like that line when he says that?
No, I can't remember.
But I agree with you.
Okay, so
they did the running about too many times.
Okay, running out in the taxi, then losing the medical scanner again, handing it in the train, then running out trying to remember the name while other people are talking to him about the numbers. Now, that was quite clever. I liked that. Someone gave him... The stockbroking company called him and said, look, we're giving you a chance. He persisted and persisted and persisted. We're going to give you the chance. Take down this number.
Mr. Twistle
and call the secretary in the morning. She'll give you all the details of where to be. Have you got a pen? He's looking for a pen. Such a great actor.
Wasn't it good looking for the pen? Like it was fantastic. An old phone. And
Will is brilliant. Unfortunately, he's just really
let himself down.
Let himself down. So he had to remember this number, and then he ran down. And what was quite funny is he's got this 8-digit number to remember. He's got no pen, so he runs out onto the street. He runs to the local convenience store, asks to borrow a pen, and while he's there, his mate runs up to him, telling him and asking him out of the baseball scores. How about that 1830? It was quite funny. I mean, it's a comedic part of the film where he's trying to be distracted by the numbers.
Correct.
He went to jail for a short period of time, I think, because he couldn't pay his parking fine, so they had to hold him until it was cleared. But he just made it in time for the job interview, but he's covered in paint. At least close your jacket, Will. That's what I thought.
Wasn't that a beautiful line, though? That we talk about belief, right? And keeping your... This is, if you've seen Life is Beautiful, when the father's getting taken away to be murdered by the Nazis, and he plays it up for his son because he doesn't want his son to know. This fella kept his personality. So when he says in the first interview, for the first day of the course, what would you do if someone turned up without a shirt on? And he said, he must have one hell of a pair of pants. It was a great line. He didn't panic. He just kept trying to push his barrel. I love that.
I'm not even sure I understood that line. Explain that one.
Well, it's trying to say that he just didn't want to admit. He wouldn't say, well, I wouldn't hire them, right? So he had to come up with a new angle. So he made them laugh.
I didn't understand what it meant. I just thought
he must have had a fantastic pair of pants on to compensate for the no shirt. I guess that's all it was.
Yeah, fair enough. I thought there might be more meaning to it.
No, I didn't think so.
There were some really good lines, which we'll get to. He gets knocked over by the car after chatting with his boss and running after a scanner again. There was a part in it where he said by not hanging up the phone, he saves 8 minutes a day. Also, he didn't drink water, so he didn't use the toilet. Well, that's a mistake. You got to rehydrate for clear thinking.
What was this? Can I ask you? What was the saddest part? I had one moment. I was almost in tears. What was the saddest part? Was it sleeping in the train station, rushing for the bed, divorcing the wife, not being able to deliver for his son? I had one moment where I thought the acting was out of this world. His face. Can you pick it?
Well, there was two, and they were next to each other when he was pretending to his son that the bone density scanner was a time machine.
Yeah, beautiful.
Right, and
the dinosaurs in the train station.
Yes, and trying not to make the kid think that they're actually midnight or whatever the time is. They're in a train station.
And locks the toilet.
Yeah, and then he goes into the toilet and he lays the toilet paper on the floor.
Yes.
That's the heart of the movie.
That was number 2 for me.
Okay, well, what's number 1?
Number 1, when he got to the point when he absolutely had no money left, and he gone and he gave blood. Did you see his face? Go back for anyone.
Actually, must have lifted my head at that point.
Extraordinary. He's acting. He's sitting there with, how has my life got to this? So the only way I could get any money was to give blood. And he got $250 for giving blood. They counted it. And he's sitting there, Will Smith.
Is that what it was? I honestly can't remember.
Yeah, it's late in the film.
You got
remember he went for the $14 for Wayne? You owe me my $14?
Yeah.
And he went back at night because they got kicked out. They couldn't get... the many nights they got into the queue at 4 o'clock for the homeless, and then this time they missed it, no more rooms, and then they went to the train station, and another time they slept on the train.
Where did you get the blood taken?
He went to a hospital. They don't show him go to the hospital. They do him sitting there, and they take the blood and it goes into the bag, and then they pan to his face.
But you don't get given money, so it was another.
It was a donation, blood donation. He got blood.
That wasn't the reason he got $250. Must have been another reason.
He got $250, and then he took something else to a pawn shop. He got some other money there.
I need you to check on that, because when you give blood, you're donating blood. You're not actually getting paid for it, and you certainly don't get $250. That's the equivalent of me going around the corner, giving blood and them giving me $500.
He gave blood and he got some money.
Maybe
I'm off with the amount. It looked like it was 550s. But his face, is the point I'm trying to make, was his face. It was just demoralising.
Can you look at that, though? I'm interested to know. You look at that while I read out some favourite lines, because that's an important point. You can't just make stuff up in the podcast.
Not making it up.
$250 for giving blood doesn't sound right to me. Okay, some favourite lines.
Oh, yeah, go on.
You looking up?
Well, I'm not looking at it. It's
don't bother me now.
What about the Rubik's Cube? Wasn't that clever?
Yeah, again, a funny scene in the taxi. The Rubik's Cube had just come out, and maybe you'll talk about this when we get into Roll and Reminiscences.
And the fascination with it, if you remember.
Yeah.
No one could do it. I was wondering, I used to think I was a genius if I could get one side.
I used to take them apart and put them back together.
Yeah, that was everyone's move.
or heat up the labels so that you could peel them off and stick them back on.
Yeah, okay. So you're cheating, but not doing it properly.
But there is a way to do it, but I was never that good at it.
Yeah.
Okay, the core message: don't ever let somebody tell you can't do something, not even me. All right, you got a dream. You got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you can't do it. You want something, go get it.
Do you like that line or not?
I do like that line.
Yeah, okay.
You got a dream, you got to protect it. I'm the type of person, if you ask me a question, I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you that I don't know, but I bet you what, I know how to find the answer, and I'll find the answer. And I'll find the answer.
And I will find
that. That was his, during his interview. And...
I'll give you the best. Can I give you the best line in the film?
Yeah, I think that's actually it. Yeah. Sums it all up. There you go.
I thought I'd wear a shirt today. And the old man says, wear one. I'm going to start crying again. Wear one tomorrow, because tomorrow's your first day. Yeah. It's my last day. I thought I'd wear a shirt today. That's when they bring him in and he gets the job.
Yep.
And his eyes, did you see his eyes?
Reminded me of 12 Years a Slave.
Very powerful. I'm crying now. Very, very powerful when he got it. And was it as easy as it looks? And he said, no, sir, no, it wasn't. And he shakes his head. Because we all live a life of privilege. We're sitting here now with a life of privilege. You don't think so?
I don't think we all live a life of privilege. We're fortunate. But
many people that we are talking to. If you're watching this podcast, you've got a phone or you're on Instagram or you're on social media. This was supposed to show you the hardest of hardship. And yet he wasn't accepting of that. And that's what's magnificent. And that's why it's belittling to say the pursuit of happiness is only about happiness. What he was doing for that little boy when he's washing him in the sink, I mean, it's just divine. Could you have found a better father?
Maybe the movie should just be called Grafting. How to graft.
How to survive.
Survival.
Real survival. And I'm not talking about jumping off a cliff and surviving. This was everyday life and how you want to be. And that's why it's magnificent. And I thought it was so beautifully cast to get his own son to do it, you know.
Yep.
Even the little boy to the basketball team when he says, listen, you're not going to be a basketballer, right? Go and do your work. And he kicks the ball away because he's shattered his own son. The relationship between a father and a son and and how you look up to your father. And that's when he says, I shouldn't have said that to you. Don't let me stop your dreams. Don't let anyone stop your dreams.
Fair enough. You want to tell? So I'll tell you a little bit about Chris Gardner. Are you interested?
Absolutely.
Chris Gardner, born 1954, is an American entrepreneur, motivational speaker, and philanthropist. He overcame homelessness in the early 80s while raising his young son. He later founded Gardner Rich & Co. in 1987. His childhood was marked by poverty, violence, and instability, raised mostly by his mother, and he spent time in foster care. Despite this, his mother's advice was, you can only depend on yourself, a motto that I personally always stand by. And marriage and personal struggles. So he married Sherry Dyson, a maths educator, but marriage fell apart when he began a relationship with Jackie Medina, who later gave birth to his son, Christopher Jr. We know that he worked as a medical equipment salesman. We know the rest of the story about the red Ferrari, which is actually true. After passing his licensing exam in 82 and working at Bear Stearns, he founded Gardner Rich & Co. with just $10,000 in capital. The firm grew into a respected brokerage handling institutional clients. After selling his stake in 2006, he launched Christopher Gardner International Holdings, expanding globally and investing in South Africa's emerging markets alongside Nelson Mandela. He's a big philanthropist, and he has received recognition, receiving numerous awards, including Father of the Year in 2002 and the Humanitarian Award from LACAAW. He's got an autobiography and he's got a film. He continues to speak globally about resilience, fatherhood, and overcoming hardship, emphasizing that issues like abuse, poverty, and illiteracy transcend background or class. Talking about illiteracy, it's time for Rowan Reminisces.
It will be in about 1 second. I just want to say a couple more things on the show because I'm still looking down at my notes. There's another great line that we all talk about. Life is 10%. No, life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you deal with it. You heard that one before?
Yes, I have.
Which is exactly this fella, right? Because the 10% is if something happens, God forbid, a grey cloud in your health or anything like that. But 90% of how you deal with it, which we're all learning to deal with.
All right, come on, son, get on with it.
And then the other great line of the film, I'll give you one more great line. $250, that's another 4 weeks oxygen. Did you like that line?
Mm-hmm.
No good?
Rowan Reminisces.
We're going to go back to 1981 when the film was set.
The A-Team, the File of Facts.
In 1981, the Russians and the Americans did not get along. So this was Cold War times. This is deep. If you remember, 1980, Russia had the Olympic Games, America didn't go. 1981, the Cold War is on. Ronald Reagan, if you want to connect it back to doing movies, the only president who was an actor. He was an actor in his prime, becomes president of the United States, and he was president in 1981. Iron Lady Margaret Thatcher ran the United Kingdom. IBM created their first PC that was launched and the tech boom really began. You had those yellow Sony Walkmans, if you remember those growing up. I never had one, but all the kids had one.
The Sony Walkman you pinned to the side of your...
No, the Walkman was walking down the street with the music, and you had the tape recorder in your hand. It was in the Walkman.
Your big boombox.
It was. The games of the day were Donkey Kong. Now, I wasn't a big gamer, but Donkey Kong was very, very popular.
What were the little gaming thing? Was it a Game Boy? Game Boy?
No way Game Boy was out. We're talking
Nintendo.
Big old... No, Nintendo's not around yet. No, this is Donkey Kong. This would have been in Contact Amusements in Fun Factory and would have been in the places you go to a big centre.
An amusement arcade?
Yeah, thank you for English. The people who don't speak Rowan, it's called an amusement arcade. Relating back to movies, 1981, do you know the film? Test your trivia. You don't like this movie? I absolutely love it. It's the greatest soundtrack in any movie.
Not The Bodyguards. No, that was later. Tell us.
Chariots of Fire. Harold Abraham's Eric Liddell, one of the great movies. And then if you want famous, the most famous wedding maybe in history, Charles and Diana got married in 81.
Ooh, I remember that. I was out working with my dad. My dad took me to work that day. He was a bit of a...
The day they were married? Or the day she died?
No, the day they got married. I remember we went to some store and he was, I don't know, selling something or buying something, and I got a glimpse of it on the TV around the corner.
Well, I was in London for work a year or so ago, and it's St Paul's Cathedral, and there it is. I'm having lunch at Wagamama's, and 30 metres up the road, there it is, and you think to yourself, because I remember the footage of it. And obviously they closed the roads, and he's now King Charles. The global economy, right? So to put in context of this fella, right? High inflation, high unemployment. It was not easy to get a job as Chris Gardner lives through, and we live through.
There was a big share market crash at some point, wasn't there, back then as well?
87 was the stock market crash, not 81. Mm-hmm. And then in the sporting arena, certainly from an Aussie, there's always going to be an Aussie flavour. For those that like cricket, the underarm delivery. So what was famous then, if you remember...
Was it Gatting?
No. I think it was the West Indies. Was the English. I can't even tell you who was batting, but the batting team needed 6 to win, 1 ball to go. And there was 3 Chappells. One was the captain, and one was the bowler, and one was fielding. And Greg Chappell went over to his brother Trevor, who was bowling, and he said, they need 6 to win, 1 ball to go, roll the ball underarm. It's within the rules. So he did what his captain and his brother told him. And the batsman, it was New Zealand. My apologies, it's New Zealand, because I now remember the image. And when the ball rolls along the ground, you can't hit it for 6 because you can't get it off the ground, which is over the fence on the full. And the batsman gets his bat and he chucks it away and walks off. And it's ruined Trevor Chappell's life. He's been a hermit. He lives in the hills. He doesn't see his brother, doesn't see Greg or Ian. This is in sporting folklore. I know it's a movie podcast, but in 1981, it destroyed that fella's life. He can't go anywhere without someone saying to him, he bowled the underarm delivery.
He needed a bit of Rowan's self-belief. Don't worry about it, son. You can come back from it.
Maybe, but he has not. He has not. So there you go. That was the time of 1981 where this film was set.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Don't do what you're doing there.
Okay, right. Well, I'll give you a little bit of trivia, and then we shall wrap this.
We need some buttons. We need like a trivia time button. Bang! Trivia time.
Do you want me to work that out for you as well? Shall I do that? Is that something I can do that to you today?
Yeah.
You're going to do something for the podcast once in a while? I hear,
my face tells a story, peeps. I'll leave it there. Go on then.
You and the camera. It's honestly
First
of all, no one's watching, and everyone listening has got no idea what you're doing. He's making all these stupid faces and gestures to the camera. He doesn't stop looking at it. It's actually ridiculous.
Good looking rooster.
Thank you very much. You're not the first person to say that. Trivia time. Budget $55 million, made over 165. Will Smith was nominated for the Oscar and Golden Globe, but did not win. The homeless people who worked as extras received a full day's pay at minimum wage of $8.62 per hour and free catered meals. For some, it was the first money they had made in a while. In reality, the Dean Witter training program accepted pretty much everyone who passed the training exam. Still, Gardner scored an impressive 88% on his test. I
did think that was pretty harsh. We're only picking one.
Yeah. Hollywood, baby, Hollywood. In the film, Chris makes a note of 5 key steps regarding his pursuit of happiness. Riding the bus is 1. 2 is being stupid. 3 is running. 4 is internship. And 5 is happiness. And finally, based on a true story, though some elements have been changed from the book. For instance, Gardner's internship was not unpaid. He received a modest amount. He and his son's mother were never married, and the son was an infant during the internship. And I'm pretty sure, well, they may not have ended up in a toilet like they did, but who knows. That's it for me. Wrap it up and give us a rating.
For me, look, it's probably 3.8 out of 5. Really strong. I mean, you just admire him so much for what he had to do, and you think your life stuff like it was with Castaway, right? You think life's tough until you watch someone like that, and it made my week easier to get through the week. And yeah, 3 points. What wonderful film, and you summed it up really well at the start. What a horrible shame that we can't fully embrace it, because you think to yourself, the guy playing it's a dickhead.
Yeah.
But the show itself is. I'd rather now meet Chris Gardner than I would Will Smith.
But no interest in Will Smith at all.
Yeah, like you think you toss him, mate, because everything's an act.
Wasted talent.
Yeah.
Look, it's a. When I say a fantastic, inspiring film, only overshadowed by Will Smith's antics at the Oscar. 3.8 out of 5.
Well, given it the same score, it's funny. We talk about with Mel Gibson that can you separate, but you have really struggled to separate, haven't you?
I'm just disappointed by him. I think that's my general feeling.
But when you watch the show, were you sitting there thinking the whole time,
no,
Oscar act, or were you engrossed in the film?
Engrossed in the film, and then mate, you are such a good actor. I'm watching all the expressions, and I'm going to think, you're so good. Why did you fuck it up? You're obviously a total nut job. But maybe at that time when he's working with his son, family life was good, and Jada wasn't off screwing whatever musician, I don't know, and his sons were too young to kind of answer back, and the dynamics, who knows. But whatever happened, he got ahead of himself, and he's gone off the rails. Look, it's still worth watching. I still definitely recommend watching it.
Very relatable. It's very relatable. Sorry. I'll make sure I'm not too indulgent here. It's relatable because it's everyday life. Family, trying to make a living, trying to survive the challenges. It's not relatable, as I said earlier, because we all live an indulgent life. You've heard the saying, first world problems, right?
Oh, I have.
This guy's got real first world problems.
Oh, this is.
He goes chasing the $14. They don't make it $400. He's knocking on the door. I want my $14. I want my $14. When that bag is flat up and he goes up, and the little boy's just walking around with that basketball. Oh, he could eat him up. He's delicious. Anything else?
On your delicious note about young children,
beautiful.
We'll leave it there. No, he was gorgeous. It was a lovely film all round. Right, that's it. Thanks for listening. If you liked it, please, as we like to say, please follow along. Hit the like or subscribe button from wherever you get your podcast from. Tune in to YouTube, where we're hopefully going to upload some of these videos that we're doing, if the Aussie here has managed to do that. And yeah, don't know. That's about it, I think. Yeah. I think we need some buttons, some trivia time and some rolling reminiscing buttons. But otherwise, I think you handled yourself pretty well. I did well again. 10 out of 10 for me.
Thanks for listening.
Until next time. What I'm not sure about, really, is whether our listeners now actually can hear the music playing just before we start this segment afterwards.
We're just sitting there special.
Yeah.
Very funny.
And I wonder if we can give a few behind-the-scenes things away here. Shall I do something I've never done before?
Yeah, go on.
Oh, no, I'm not going to. But what I will say...
But you've got to give them a little extra.
You're right. So here's a little extra for you.
Go on.
We're recording this.
Yeah.
What's the date today?
You want to tell them the date?
Yeah.
The date's the 25th of October, 2025.
And prior to recording this podcast, we just recorded the Father podcast. And for the first time, we are using a whole different set of equipment.
Yeah.
Allow me to... Well, I can show you a little bit of it. Maybe
Is this exciting for the listener?
It's exciting for me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what can I show you here? We've got a little setup.
Okay, so why don't you talk us through what it is? So
So here we've got a little computer and a little machine, and we've got you there. You've gone a little bit upside down. That I don't know why.
That's cool. That's interesting.
We may have to turn that around. There we go.
There you go.
We're back in the studio.
Back in business.
So that was a little bit of that. I don't even know why I did that. But I did. And
it's funny, because that's we just talk about it, right? Like, let's debrief on air. It's a beautiful film, right? Just a beautiful film, but it's hard to disconnect yourself from the reality. Like, when you're watching these movies and they're massive megastars, like the Anthony Hopkins, Denzels, Tom Cruise, we talk about a lot, and now Will Smith.
Sorry about that. You know, you keep
They're
going.
like
I don't know
gods.
what.
They're like gods. They're not like regular people.
Yep.
And he made himself become a regular person by losing his... What are you doing?
This is all new software that I've got no idea what I'm
You're
doing.
just going to practice on air.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, keep going. Pretend you know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I just think it's... Oh, what a mental... I've never seen... It's probably the top 10 self-destructive moments I've ever seen.
I mean, I can talk about him a little bit and what's the aftermath of what's happened there.
Explain the fallout. So, well, this is 15 years before it happened, right?
I remember that was a big slap.
So the film is released in 2006. When was the slap?
So, March 27th, 2022, he walked on stage, slapped comedian Chris Rock after Rock made a joke about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head. Following the slap, he returned to his seat and shouted at Rock, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!" Clearly visible when we watched it. We were all watching it. Later that night, he received the Oscar for Best Actor for King Richard. His acceptance speech referenced the incident and apologised to the Academy, but not directly to Rock. And it obviously triggered huge media coverage and discussion. The aftermath and consequences. As a result of the incident, Smith eventually resigned his membership in the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, making him ineligible to vote on Oscar nominations. The Academy banned him from attending Oscars events or inviting guests for 10 years, and a lot of his upcoming projects were put on hold.
Not a lot. All other than the ones that he's funding.
There's been very, very little.
Chris Rock had to pay $40 million to.
It's actually ridiculous. 2024's film Bad Boys Ride or Die included a tongue-in-cheek nod to the Oscars. It's rubbish. In 2025, he did this really weird music album.
Was that the concert in the street? Was that this trying to do a rap?
I think it referenced young girls and kissing girls or something like that.
Did you think so, Rob? Did you think it was real at the time? I think we've discussed this in another show. You thought it was real. You thought it was fake or real?
I thought I was adamant. I was like saying, I can't believe you're falling for this. This is a total skit. This is a bit. This has been put on. There's no way in a million years Will Smith is going to get up when 1 billion people are watching and slap Chris Rock across the face. Yeah. Of course it's put on. But it wasn't. I still can't get my head around it. I still can't get my head around how somebody would... And it wasn't even like he lost control. It wasn't like he got up and raged. Yeah. He looked at his wife and he walked calmly up the stage and slapped him. I mean, what was going on in his head? What was he thinking? Does he think, oh, people are really going to support me for standing up for my wife by beating another guy?
I don't think he was thinking that at the time. No, I don't think he's thinking anything. At the time, he's obviously going through something with Jada, right? She's looked at him like, he's mocked me. Defend your wife. You've got to defend your wife. He was more scared of her than the rest of the world. Because she laughs. He laughs at the start. If you watch it, he's laughing. Then he turns and she gives him daggers and he thinks,
oh, I better stand up.
I better stand up and ruin my entire career, which is the wrong way to go about it anyway. If he wanted, Chris Rock should have finished his segment after the show, in a break, he'd come on and say, mate, don't talk about me and my wife like that.
Or, if you really want to stand up, if he'd just go and keep you from his seat, hey, Chris, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Okay, probably just keep your name out my wife's mouth, move on, jog on, and that's it.
Okay, so
maybe you would have got a bit of respect for that. What do you think?
No, not respect, but there's so many elements. There's the physical violence, there's the abuse.
We're trying to imagine a different scenario.
Yeah, no, if it was a different scenario, had he just said, hey, easy, please don't mention us.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
If he said, please don't mention us, everyone would say, stood up for his wife, so he handled it horrifically. But he could have still done it and defended his wife's honour.
What do you think would have happened if he'd done that?
He would be fine.
Like respected?
Yeah, probably would have risen up.
I think I agree.
Yeah, but he couldn't have sweared. He just should have said, listen, not the time or the place. Not the time or the place.
Chris, move on.
Move on, mate. Not the time or the place. Not funny.
Although generally what tends to happen is, it's probably still the better thing to do of the two, obviously, but he would probably still have been mocked for doing it in the future. You know, future Oscars that he would have been able to attend. They would have always brought up Will Smith standing up for his wife. So a public opinion could have gone both ways. Number one...
But not cancelled, though. He got cancelled. No one will touch him ever again.
Think about that. We're trying to work out what would have happened if he'd gone the other way.
Okay.
Like, would the court of public opinion have given him such praise for standing up for your wife, or would a lot of people go, mate, settle down, it's a joke, you can't take a joke? Who are you?
I would have thought it would have gone a better way.
I think, well, people...
But there's always someone, there's always someone in both sides. There's no camp that's always 100-0. Someone would have said, God, he's lost his sense of humour. He's just taking a joke about, her hair loss and alopecia and all that sort of thing.
Mm.
But that's under the scenario that we didn't know. The way he did it, the physical violence, the abuse, stealing the show, the taking it away from the other winners, it destroyed Oscar night. It's now spoken about at every Oscar. You hear the word Oscar, first people say is Will Smith. Remember that? So he's tarnished
his legacy.
His legacy, the Academy's legacy.
No, not the Academy. Well, the Academy...
Every time you say the Oscars, people think, what's the most famous thing in Oscar history? Up it comes.
The way it's tarnished the Oscars is because they didn't bring in the police at that time and escorted him out.
Imagine that. Imagine. That's what Ace Ventura, what's his name, Jim Carrey says. You hit someone in real life.
Well, if a member of the audience had come up and slapped Chris Rock, no, they've got audience, but someone had come up and slapped Chris Rock, member of the public, they would have been carted away immediately to jail.
What do you, if you're at a concert, the security can't run on stage and hit Billy Joel. What the hell was going on?
The only thing is that because it was so unprecedented and so shocking, there's no one in place or has the balls, the director of the Oscars, to go, get the cops in, get him out.
Because maybe it was an element they didn't know was real.
Maybe there's that. There's also, what happens when he comes to collect his Oscar. He's up for the Oscar. He's probably going to win it. It would have thrown the whole thing into disarray. So you actually, in fairness to the Oscars, objectively, you probably couldn't have done much until after.
And unfortunately, the saddest part maybe also is the court of public opinion wasn't in yet. Right? So we're looking at this after, when everyone's cancelled him and turned on him. At the time, people might have thought, oh, well, no.
It was a joke. We all thought it was a joke.
It's either a joke or it's not so bad. But when it's cancelled, then everyone piggybacks on after.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I mean, that was... Again, we're talking about that, not talking about the movie and his work and his talent. Because when we watch him, I don't think of Fresh Prince. I don't think of, when I watched him in Pursuit of Happyness, I don't think of him as Bad Boys or Men in Black or the Fresh Prince or the singer that he was. I thought of him as Chris Gardner. But now I always think of him as you, Tossbag.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you what.
Good chat.
Good chat indeed.
Mm.
Thank you for watching, because I'm assuming you'll be watching this. And
love your feedback too. Come and tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. He loves to tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. We want to hear from you.
You're looking at me. Okay, until next time.
Thanks for listening.